The closest I've had as it concerns sex education from my parents is my mother, especially. Our own is, if man touch you, you will get pregnant. Hello guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Uche, and if this is your first time on this channel and you're not subscribed yet, please click on the subscribe button down below so you get notified whenever I post a new video. And please know that subscription to this channel is free, so YouTube doesn't charge you when you subscribe to this channel. So guys, click on the subscribe button so that you'll be the first to know whenever I post a new video on this channel. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for sticking with me. I hope you're having fun, and I also hope my videos here inspire you to pick up a book and read. It doesn't matter if you've not done that in a very long time. Reading is life. Reading is fun. So guys, in this video I'll be reviewing a classic book. So the book in question here is So Long a Letter by Mariama Ba. So this book was published in the year 1979. It is that old, 1979. They've not even given birth to me. And it was awarded the first Nobel Prize for publishing in Africa in 1980. So originally this book is written in French. I can't read French. I don't know French apart from comment ça va, comment allez-vous, and all those things. But luckily for us that speak only English and our indigenous languages, of course, this book was translated into English by Modupe Bode Thomas in 1981. So that is why I'm able to read this book and also talk to you about this book. So guys, this book is written in an epistolary form, and it is also a semi-autobiography. So I'm guessing the author Mariama Ba was talking about, her life in this book also. This book is set in Senegal, and in my quest to be diverse in anything that has to do with African literature, I've been reading books from different countries other than Nigeria. I've been reading Nigerian books, of course, because those are the ones that are readily available to me, but I've been spreading my tentacles, reading books from other countries apart from Nigeria, and it really has been a fun thing to do because now I'm exposed to different cultures. I can pick out the similarities between other African culture and Nigerian culture too, and it's really fun learning about other people and their way of life. And this book did a lot for me in that aspect. And let me just get into the story proper. So this book tells the story of Ramatoulaye Fall. So she's an advanced woman, and she's writing a letter to her friend Aissatou Ba. So she had just been recently widowed, and in this letter to her friend, she was telling her friend about her life, chronicling her life from when she was a young wife to a present stage now. So what happened was that her husband Modou, after 25 years of marriage, decided to marry another wife. A new co-wife was her daughter's best friend, Binetu. So he took a younger wife, a girl that is as young as his daughter, and he abandoned Ramatoulaye and her 12 children. So yes, you heard right, she had 12 children for her husband. So he abandoned them and got another house. He was living the lavish life with this new wife of his. And Ramatoulaye felt betrayed because she had been with her husband from when he was not so important. So now when he had gotten a promotion in I think he was working in the ministry, but he had a very important position now, and he decides to enjoy that new status with a new wife. And the funny thing about this is that when she had brought her husband Modou to her mother wasn't really buying into the idea that that Modou was the best man that could be a husband to Ramatoulaye, but it just happened that they got married together. So there's this comparison between Ramatoulaye's life as a young wife to Aissatou, that is this friend that she's addressing this letter to. So Aissatou really had it bad for her because she's not from a privileged background. So her father was a blacksmith, and when this husband of hers, a medical doctor, came to ask for her hand in marriage, his family wasn't happy with that decision, because especially his mother, because they were like, this girl is her status is not befitting for us, because the mother is from a royal family and stuff like that. So they just, there was this difference in status, there was this difference in class. So Aissatou's mother-in-law didn't want them to mingle, and so the revenge that Aissatou's mother-in-law took on Aissatou was to get a cousin of theirs, a younger girl, to be her husband's wife. So it's different when your mom marries a wife for you and you're like, it's a business, you're not going to have any interaction with this younger wife that they've married for you. But Aissatou's husband went ahead, slept with this girl, even impregnated her, and rather than own up to his own indiscretion, he was blaming it on his mother, that it was his mother that brought the wife, so there was no way he could have done better, it was not his fault, that kind of thing. And so what Aissatou did was, Aissatou left that marriage with, I think she had like three or four sons. So she traveled out of the country, and even when people were saying that how was she going to cope with these sons of hers, that it was impossible for a single mother to care for about 3 sons, that they wouldn't turn out right, Aissatou closed her ears to these criticisms, and she traveled outside the country, and she did so well for herself. Her refuge was books, so she took to reading, and applied for exams, and she was doing so well. She even became wealthy, and even at a point sent a car down to her friend Ramatulaye. So she was better off. Now there's this, just like I said, there's this contrast between Aissatou, who chose to leave a marriage that wasn't favoring her, and Ramatulaye, who decided to stay back and endure everything. And Ramatulaye was the ideal daughter-in-law, she was the ideal sister-in-law. Her mother-in-law and her sisters-in-law, they will come to the house when they know, of course, that there will be such great inconvenience, and Ramatulaye would never complain. She would just go about taking care of them, being the nice host that she is. And yes, it did help, because the sisters-in-law, they didn't wage any war against her, and her mother-in-law was just nice to her, because Ramatulaye was giving them what they wanted, so there was peace. But the funny thing about it was that now when Modufo got married to this his new wife, she was a student like his daughter too, but he didn't want her to continue her education. So what he did was to pay her a huge allowance monthly, and care for her mother and her family. So he was just the gracious husband, like the best son-in-law that Bineto's mother could ever have. So Binetou had the best things. She was driving a very expensive car, when his first wife that had suffered with him didn't have a car, and she was suffering with her 12 children. She wasn't really suffering, but she was struggling with her 12 children, because she was just a teacher. So the money that she got from her teaching work, that's what she was using to just manage with 12 children. Guys, I would say that's too much, and that's wicked on her husband's end. So he totally abandoned his family, and it's not as if where Modufo was with his new wife, everything was all rosy, because now, being someone that was advanced in age, and you're marrying a young girl like that, she was mocking him, because he wasn't her age, he wasn't even close to her age. She was mocking him, and now he had to go about stressing himself, dyeing his hair black, wearing tight clothes so that he could hide his pot belly, trying so much to be like a young guy. In Igbo language, we call it agadi ekwenka. So what it just means that this old person doesn't want to grow old. So you're advanced in age, but you're trying so hard to be a young person just because you want to please this new wife of yours. And so while he was lavishing her with gifts, on Binetou's end, I would say she was a pawn kind of in the play of things, because it felt as if it was her mother that sold her to Modufo so that she could have a good life, so that she could have the best things of life. And while Binetou would oppress other people with the nice things that her husband had gotten for her, with the jewelry, the car, everything, it would soon be her own turn to put her head down in shame when she sees young couples that are matching in age, with little or no difference in their age, when they are out about together, and she, a young girl like her, she's saddled with an old man as a husband. So that was how it was. When Modufo died, it was now time for Ramatulaye to get what rightly belongs to her and her children, because most of the investments that Modufo had, it was started by himself and Ramatulaye, his wife, his first wife. So by all right, everything was to come to her. So it just felt like we need to, and her mother and her scheming mother, they were at a great disadvantage, and now they will soon start begging for whatever Ramatulaye in her graciousness can give to them. Ramatulaye's second daughter, Aissatou, who is the namesake of Ramatulaye's friend, got pregnant. And now, at this point when she got pregnant, Ramatulaye had to be faced with the decision of giving her daughter sex education. And yes, I like the fact that this was actually talked about in this book, because in Africa, it's so hard for African parents to talk to their children about sex. Let me just bring it down home. Yeah. So the closest I've had as it concerns sex education from my parents is my mother, especially. Our own is, if man touch you, you will get pregnant. So that's the closest I've had to sex education. That's what she's told me. At the point when I started getting my periods, it was just like she was in this state of panic, in this, oh, this girl should not go and get pregnant, that kind of stuff. So that's the closest I've had to sex education. If it's my dad, he does not even want to talk about it. He's not even going to think about it. So I feel I would say the job was just left to my mom alone, and I would say she did a shoddy job, because where the African child gets the proper sex education from, it might be in school, because there are some teachers that are nice enough, that are daring enough to to give you the sex education proper, and you get sex education from your peers. And sometimes this education you get from your peers is not the real deal, because you end up getting misled and you end up getting the wrong information, and it can just jeopardize your life in the long run. So I would say this book is a call for parents, to African parents especially, to be more open to their children. Just say it and leave your child or leave your children with the option of picking good over evil. Yeah, of picking right over wrong. So that's just basically it about this book. And again, one thing that was highlighted in this book is this tradition of a widow being transferred to her late husband's brother or friend. So here in Nigeria, it's not a new thing, as was applicable in the olden days. When a man dies, his wife is inherited by his older brother, his younger brother. I don't know about friend. I've not come across friend, but it happens. So it's here in the Nigerian culture. And if you've watched my review on the Bride Price by Buchi Emecheta, I'll be leaving the card at the top of the screen. You would see what I'm saying. So but seeing this in the Senegalese culture, it felt very familiar. So when Ramatulaye's husband Modufo dies, his brother comes to ask for Ramatulaye's hand in marriage. His friend also comes, and then we see that a second marriage wasn't what Ramatulaye wanted. And even though people feel a woman shouldn't be without a husband, it was just the ideal thing to do, to take shelter under a man. But Ramatulaye, I would say she's a very strong woman. It just didn't make sense anymore. Even when her husband was alive, I'll say in the last 5 years prior to her husband's death, her husband hadn't really been there for her. He hadn't really been there for her and her children, and she had been surviving fine. She had been surviving good. So it just didn't make sense for her to seek another man again. What's the best he can do for her? This book speaks on feminism. It speaks on women representation in government, because as always, women are underrepresented when it comes to politics, when it comes to government. So it's just, Africa as a whole is a patriarchal society. It just highlights the downsides of being a woman in the African society. And this is a very beautiful book to read. For the longest time, I knew about the title, So Long a Letter. And sometimes I just say it because I felt the title of the book is just a beautiful combination of words, but I didn't think I was going to read it up until now. And all I have to say is I wish I'd read this book earlier. So this book is a very beautiful read. Me reviewing this book, I'm sure a lot of people have read this book, but if you've not read this book, guys, pick it up and read. You would not regret reading this book. So this book is just a beautiful work of art. And guys, I recommend 100%. There's nothing wrong about this book. Even from the cover of the book, the cover of the book is actually very attractive. With the picture there, it just gives you an insight of what is obtainable in the book. So we see a woman kneeling, then at her back we see a man holding a younger woman. So what we just know is that, okay, the woman kneeling in the front cover, that should be Ramatulaye. Then she's abandoned by her husband, who has gone to be with his new wife, a woman that is much younger than she is, and is there flexing, enjoying his life. So that's just basically it about this book. If you've watched to the end of this video, thank you so much. I hope you had fun, and I hope you pick this book. I hope you read this book. You really should. And if you do, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Some of the issues that I highlighted in this book, what are your thoughts on it? Let's discuss in the comment section down below. Guys, please do not forget to click on the like button so that YouTube recommends this video to other viewers. And guys, do not forget to click on the subscribe button. Hit on it, yeah? And that's it for this video. I'll see you in my very next video. Bye guys.